Harmonize
the podcast.
Yes.
With Nina
and Kenya.
It's us.
Hi. Humma, 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 hum. We are kicking it live to you. Well, it's not live. When you hear it, it's not going to be live. It's live for me now. It's live for me. Is it live for you?
Yes.
Okay, we're at the Karamu house.
Look, she always want to kick it live. She want to be on the radio.
I know, right. And it's not Caribou. It's really Karamu. Okay, Karamu.
Let me say it like Tony. Karamu is a Kiswahili word that means a place of joyful gathering. Yes.
I'm doing interpretive dance as she does it.
Mr. Tony Sias is the CEO and president of Karamu House.
Yes.
House. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we just got, I forgot to tell the people who we are and what we do.
Who are we and what do we do? We are Harmonize,
the podcast.
With Nina
and Kenya.
And we talk about all things being black.
Being a mother.
Being a woman.
Being a wife.
Being an artist.
Being a Christian.
And all the things.
Did we leave anything out?
No, we got them all.
Okay,
we got them all.
Good. Okay.
We're trying to get all our intersections, the intersectionality of intersections.
Yes, I've been intersectioned, y'all. I just came to see Nina's direction of
The Adventures of the Black Girl in Her Search for God by Lisa Codrington.
Yes, and it was wonderful. I've been intersectioned and I enjoyed it very much. If you are in the Cleveland area.
Nope, they can't. It's sold out.
Never mind then. You'll have to catch it the next time. Sorry.
It's completely sold out. Thank you, Cleveland.
Amen. Thank you, Cleveland. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're
I
fine.
came trying to look cute. I had on.
You are cute.
Oh, stop. Go on.
Y'all,
You too.
Y'all, Kenya is cute. She has on this fabulous sachet, strange. She has on this fabulous. What color is this?
I don't know. I think it's some
like
type of. It's not powder blue, but it's
it's like a seafoam.
Yeah, maybe.
Double-breasted trench.
Yes.
Listen,
I don't know.
It's gorgeous. That's all I know.
I got it back in the day, and it's going well with my ensemble.
Yes.
And Miss Nina has her hair wild and crinkly and beautiful, and Cleveland weather ready. It's down. It's beautiful. I got pictures, so I'll send them to Nina, and she will post them. Today. For the talk back that you all had today.
Oh, yes.
That was lovely. I wish y'all could have seen it. It was so wonderful. I can't. I don't know what more to say because I'm still processing.
Yes.
It was a lot.
It is a lot. The
but
show is a lot.
Mostly for me, it was really funny. I was the only one laughing. I was the only one who was, and I felt bad because I'm like, I shouldn't laugh.
No, you should.
I was laughing. I was laughing at some of the characters fighting the other characters. That was hilarious to me
because they are funny. They are funny.
Just all of that. So yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Go on then.
So y'all, we're going to be honest and transparent. We are desperately trying. This has been a week.
Yeah.
This has been a week.
This is week 3 of a week.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the start of it was the snowstorm. Yeah. And then some other stuff. Then it was recovery.
And yesterday was like gorgeous and almost in the 70s.
I took all my clothes off. I took all I had on was lotion and toenail polish. I was so happy.
And today it's raining again.
Yeah, and I still had my clothes off earlier this morning, and then all of a sudden I walked in the theater and was like, I think I need a coat.
Right.
And some underwear.
So we are trying to hold it together and actually give y'all an episode because we are. You get to that place sometimes where you're just full, and not necessarily.
It's funny that you mentioned that.
Right.
Go ahead.
Not overwhelmed, but just full. And when you're full, you need to digest.
Yes, that's what you need to do.
Yes.
It's funny you mentioned that. Because yesterday, this is where all of this stuff happened. Mm-hmm. My little baby, precious angel Sage, had to be sent to I took her to the emergency room. Yeah. She was having, stomach pains, and she didn't feel like she was, going to throw up or anything. She didn't feel like she had to boo-boo. I don't know how to say it, but if I say it,
Like
make a
that.
bowel
That's
movement,
fine.
y'all. Anyway, she didn't feel like she had to boo-boo. But she was just in agony. So I thought, oh my gosh, she's getting cramps early, but her body's so underdeveloped. Is it really that time? Oh my gosh, what if it's something else? What if it's some forensic science stuff? Okay, so then I took her to the emergency room, which I love because we stay there for like 15,000 hours. But luckily, Hillcrest Hospital, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
They got us in. They're very nice, and it didn't seem that long. But anyways, we got in only to find out that she was highly constipated. And I was like, you know what, come to think of it, I might be highly constipated. And not in a bad way, because I was thinking, well, what has she been eating? Nothing terrible. It's just something that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? So, and I thought about my life. I was like, I just feel full. I've been saying that for the last like 8 hours. I just feel full.
Yeah.
And I need to digest.
Yeah.
So, and now watching the show, I
Even
feel
more
full.
full.
I just, but it's in a good way that I have to do it. Hello. Oh, it's say hello, Nathan.
Hi. Say hi.
Yeah, it's because we're in the theater, y'all. Say hello, Nathan. Nathan, come on in here.
Hello,
and say-
Nathan.
Who is Nathan, you ask? Come on in here and tell him.
This is Nathan from Karamu House.
That's right.
America's first theater that promotes Black and African American and multicultural and all the wonderful people on stage. We embrace it.
And who are you?
My name is Nathan, and I am the Director of Marketing as well as a Production Supervisor here at Karamu House.
Yes, he is also the director of Your Mama, which is going to the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Yes.
That's right, y'all. Oh, bye, Nathan. He just made a cameo appearance, so
I had his keys.
yeah. I was trying to make it sound pretty, but yes, that's what it was. But it just feels really good to be in this space, in this historical space. And right now we are in the Leonard C. Hanna room.
The Hannah Lounge.
Yes, perhaps we can post some pictures of that.
We'll post pictures of
So that you can, so if you're not from the Cleveland area or you haven't been able to come in and take a look around at all of this beautiful woodwork and artwork and library of live writings on the wall.
Yeah.
You'll be able to have a chance to see. But anyways, I digress. I was just, I just wanted to talk
full.
about,
That's what
we're really full. And so anyways, she's having that issue. And it's not necessarily bad. You know that she's going to be okay. I know that she's going to be okay. She just needs to digest.
Yeah.
So it's the same with me. And I thought about with me, even with spring coming, clean eating, all of those things. This is a great time, especially as artists, I think, to recognize when you're full
Yes.
and digest it and allow the time to digest.
Yeah.
And not try to be eating no more potatoes. I'm speaking metaphorically, of course.
Yes. Well, and my sister reminds me all the time, hello, world peace.
Hey, world peace.
That, I love that that's her code name on the show.
Can you? I'm going to learn the words, actually, so that I can. Can you paint with all the colors of the wild wind?
Oh my gosh. But she reminds me all the time of something that Mama Gena says from Mama Gena's School of Womanly Arts.
Hi, Mama Gena.
She says,
about you so much.
right, she says that, undigested good turns to shit.
Well, that's a lot of shit.
Right. When you have it's been
interesting.
Yeah.
That's it exactly.
Yeah, because even if you eat really, really, really good food,
and
if you don't digest it, you'll get sick.
Right.
And so it's interesting. You have to, in the same way, and I think, and this is the stage of life I'm in now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I have been thinking a lot about learning how to savor, not just savor, but also process good experiences. We always talk about, I'm going through process, I'm processing, and we're often speaking of like trauma,
right,
or some, disorienting experience.
Right.
But we also have to learn how to process the good.
That's right. And there's a lot of good that's been happening.
Absolutely. And it's something I've been thinking about for a while, because the book I'm writing,
Yes.
Hello book.
It on ebook and Amazon.
But I've been writing a book for a while, and I've been testing it with some actors that I know. Like after the death of Heath Ledger and Philip Seymour Hoffman, I started to think about it a lot. In American Theater Magazine actually just had an article about it, so I know I'm not crazy. These ideas tend to float around in the universe at the same time about this idea that, as actors, we go to school for years and years and years, get degrees in learning how to create imaginary lives. That's right. And how to get into character. But there is not a lot of standardized or even tested process about how to come back out of character.
That's right.
And how to come back to yourself. Right. How to come back to life, to your own life. And so much, and I think it can become dangerous for actors in particular.
And performers.
But particularly for actors, when you're because you're creating an entire personality. And we talk a lot about what is the character's inner life? What is that character's emotional life? How do you experience the emotions that they're feeling? And we do so much. I mean, we have courses, psychology for actors, so we can figure. I mean, actors are some of the smartest people you will ever meet.
Absolutely.
Because of the level of training that we get sometimes, and
the research that you have.
Right, and so it's like you spend all of this time researching, like where this person lived, what the food is like there, how they walk, the kind of clothes they wear, how the weather affects them, how they were raised, all these different things, so that you can create choices that person that you would make if you were that person based on the imaginary circumstances of their life, right? But a lot of times, when you come to the art, you're not necessarily whole, finished, or full, right? As a person, especially if you started, if you started young. So if you enter the art and you're not sure of who you are.
And how could you be? You haven't lived.
But even if you are, like, let's say you start acting in your 20s, there's a degree of selfhood that you have, but you might not be confident in it yet. Right. So then you get all this training that teaches you how to effectively turn off who you are, how to become a neutral palette from which to build. And if you don't know how to come back to that neutral and then allow that neutral to return to who you are. And I'm talking everything. I'm talking the way you stand, the way you speak, because like we joke about it on the show, right?
Yeah.
But I have to actively think about it in order to talk the way I talked growing up. Right. Like I just had to pause for a minute.
Right. I hear you.
And say New Orleans to myself for it to come back. And the reason why is because when I was in school, they told me that every character doesn't talk like that, so you can't talk like that anymore.
And now you live in wonderful Ohio.
Right. And the thing is that's true, but then it wasn't until I went to grad school and they had to give me another mindset shift, which was, your regionalism isn't bad. Your regionalism is you. And so every character isn't you. Right. And there's different schools of thought about acting. There's the one school of thought that's like, so there are the Tom Hanks actors. I'm going to use two black people. Okay. There are the Jeffrey Wright actors.
Yes. Okay.
And there are the Denzel actors.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Jeffrey Wright is a chameleon. He completely disappears.
Right.
You don't see Jeffrey. Right. You don't know how Jeffrey really talks, walks, moves, anything. Right. You don't even know if that's the way he breathes when he breathes.
For the longest time, I thought he was Dominican.
Right, because he disappears, right? He creates a completely new person. Right. So that is, he creates... Jeffrey disappears and you see the character only. Right. Then there's the Denzel style of acting, which is what I would do if I were this person. Right. So there's always still a little piece of Denzel still there. Right. Except for certain roles like Malcolm X. But by and large, when you see a Denzel, it doesn't make it any less brilliant. No. It's just two different styles. Right. And so the thing is, either way, whether it's if I were this person, I would do this, or I am doing this the way this person would do it, and I'm not even a part of the equation. Right. There's a neutral that you come to where it's not you. Right. Right. And so if we don't know how to effectively get back to me,
Right.
And let's say you're playing a character who goes through trauma.
Right.
Or who causes trauma. Mm-hmm. Or if the play is just rough.
Yeah.
A lot of actors have the habit, all right, show's done, and it's like you're wired after that performance.
Yeah.
You got adrenaline, all the things.
Yeah.
I'm going to go have a drink real quick.
Yes. That is what that turns into, sometimes it can turn it, especially
if you don't know a problem.
If you don't know who you are. And
Absolutely.
you didn't know who,
Yeah.
Well, I think of, the first person I think of is, of course I can't think of his name.
Leonard Nimoy.
Him too, but okay. So there's Michael Jackson was the first person I was actually thinking of. He's not an actor, but that's a Heath Ledger
had
of
a
course.
persona,
right? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Patchwork.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. He's been on mine a lot. I don't know why, but Robin Williams. I've been thinking a lot of. Philip Seymour.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Right. All of the actors that we know who have overdosed or they just wanted to sleep, or Prince, I don't know necessarily Prince. I don't know if it was pain or what, but
right.
I think that in the performing life, is particularly for the actors, it's that same thing. I think also it's that coming down and just not having like you said, as from a performer perspective, just getting away from it. Yeah. And you don't know how to find your own space anymore. It's not like you can
where you're not the performer.
Right. You can't go to the bar, the local bar, and sit and have drink without somebody saying something. Or you just can't do it because you have too much stardom. You can't go to McDonald's. Right. Not like you would want to, but if you did, you can't go. Right. So you're almost in a certain type of jail. You can't get crystals. You can't. Right. You can't just hop over your buddy's house that you hadn't been missing for 5 years. You haven't talked to him, and you're just like, I just want to call you. You just can't do that. Right. So what are some things that you can do? Luckily, in your book, I know that you've been thinking about this for a long time. And then I know also, just because I know you as you're writing this, you've had experiences on how to deal with different traumas, how to categorize it, how to know what it is, and how to verbally make sense of it. Yeah. And you've had the experience of having to do this for yourself. Yeah, yeah. And even in this show, I'm watching you and I see, oh my gosh, she is charged. Yeah. How the heck she gonna pull herself out of this one? Right. But you do. I mean, I watch you do it, and you're not alone. You have a team, you have a support system. Yeah. But these are some things that you can be Meryl Streep or have Meryl Streep status, or Viola Davis status, and still
Nina Domain status.
Yes, right. Come on now, and still, people are people. At the end of the day, everybody needs to be able to know how to come down, because I think when you get a certain status, you don't know who. I don't know. I'm not at this baby.
You make sense. Yeah.
You don't know who to trust. If you don't have your partner who, that's a whole nother story. Yeah. Your spouse, your partner, whomever. You're not sure which therapist to trust, or, who's going to take you for the money, who's going to run off and tell your story and sell it. There's so many things that would cause such a paranoia to reach out, because you just don't want the extra. Right. So what do you do? I mean, other than reading, finding your spirituality, or reading your Bible, or doing your chants, or whatever that is.
Whatever it is.
How do you
survive
come
back to you? Yeah, and you gotta have a process.
So this is a necessary book. Yeah, very necessary. I need this book.
You're so funny. I mean, even if it's good, what I mean? Because
that's what I learned this week.
Yeah. What's his name? Grace Jones is his sister. Bishop Noel Jones.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Bishop Noel Jones talked a lot about how his marriage ended because he didn't know how to come home and just be Noel.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was bishop.
Yeah.
So much. Yeah. And he was bishop and shaking hands.
Right.
Hearts and minds were being changed. Yeah, lives were being saved. Right, and all that. And he come home and his wife's like, I need you to take out the trash.
Right.
And
well, I think as mothers we get it more because when we come home, they don't care.
They don't care. 3-year-old does not care.
They're gonna be right in your ear talk about juice,
right?
Juice. That's what Sage used to do. In the middle, I would be done all day long. I'd come home and I would finally fall into a beautiful, exhausted sleep, and then she'd come in my ear and go, juice. My eyes would pop open, and I realized I ain't nobody. I thought I was somebody because I did this lovely choreography. I ain't nobody. Let me get up and get this girl some juice. With my hair all to the side,
right?
My scarf falling off.
And I think that sometimes it may be easier, if you have a family because
it is
because you don't have a choice,
right?
They will snap you out of it,
right?
But and I think particularly I was thinking about, like I have a lot of friends who have tried to have kids and could not, or who chose not to, and it's like, well, I know for me, my family is part of what saves me.
Oh yeah,
I know that they help snap me out of things and stuff like that. It's like, but if you don't have that, and let's just say you don't necessarily have a particular spiritual practice, right? Because people go through different journeys in life. How do you come back to you? How do you find center and reharmonize yourself?
Last week it was
Oh, so funny. I want to read. We got a lovely message.
Did we now?
Yes, we did. We got a lovely message from a faithful listener named Elaine.
Hey, Elaine. Oh, yes, we did get a letter.
Yes.
I saw that message.
Yes.
Elaine, we have to mention, I love you, Elaine.
And so I want to read Elaine's message because I think it falls in line with what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So she says, first she says some other stuff, and so then I'll leave that part out because that is kind of personal.
Yeah, makes you want to cry too much.
Right. But then so I'll pick up here. She says 2 things really stuck out. The After Dark episode when you talked about taking care of yourself, then the people just see you differently. She said, I've been struggling with that for years.
Wow.
And it's so good just to hear that. And I believe it.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking about how when you stop putting, giving everybody else the attention first.
Right.
Then people start to go, oh, you changed.
Yeah,
right.
It's like, I didn't change. You just saw me differently. You should have been seeing me differently from before.
Right. I mean, I hope I would have changed in 20 years. At least grown.
Yeah. Well, unless I didn't change my look and I look like I still 20 years ago.
Well, and that's okay.
But I know Elaine, and I love working with her because she is quite a chameleon. Like when she does a thing or when she moves a certain way, I believe her. When when she's from some certain part of Africa, I'm like, I believe you. Right. When she plays someone from India or she plays an owl, I believe her.
Yeah, she's a wonderful actress.
She is wonderful.
Actress, mover, musician.
Yes.
Mommy, also a mommy.
All of those things. But again, it's just like a regular mother.
Right. Right.
Well, there's nothing regular about mothers. But.
Right. And then she goes on to say that she and her husband have been together a long time.
Bless them.
So thank you so much for the thoughts on that.
Yes, honey.
In the After Dark.
We can help.
Yes.
Look, do y'all need some vitamins?
And then she says, with the revolutionary thinking episode, that she too has started to think that going to college and getting into crippling debt may no longer be an appropriate path for the kids. And it's just good to hear someone else say it. Yeah. And she says, I miss you ladies and your laughter and your bright lights, and sends us hearts and kisses. We love you, Elaine.
And there's so many Elaines out there.
So many. And I mean, I think... like what she's saying, like hearing someone else say the things that you're thinking is one of the ways that you can digest. You know,
absolutely.
Having community and connection helps you digest the good stuff.
That's right.
You know, you got to have your sister circle that you can call and be like, girl, listen to the good thing.
But if you don't, you can listen to the podcast.
There you go.
Well, that's why we created it.
Exactly.
One of the reasons, anyway.
One of them.
So that you can, you know, you can be whoever you are and really be able to relate, because I mean, there were many years that went by. You and I just spoke.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of times where I felt like I was alone until I would talk to you and be like, you going through that too?
Girl, yes.
It just seemed like, because we seem like such a small community. I mean, imagine that.
Yeah.
You know, I felt, even though I'm a Cleveland native, I moved to New York and stayed there for 10 years. And I felt as much of a New Yorker as I did at Cleveland at one point. And then I came back and I felt completely displaced. You know, I felt like, okay, I'm an artist. I'm going to do my thing here like I did where I was. And that didn't work out. And then I said, well, you know what? Then I'll try and conform and not do my thing and do what everybody else did. Well, that didn't work out. Then baby number 2 was coming. I was like, Lord Jesus, bless the children. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you. And so there was that. And then there was my spirituality. And I'm like, who goes through this? Like, and I prayed a lot of times. I was just like, why am I going through this alone? Then I met you, and then I met little pockets. People, like there was a lot of people like me. They're, oh, you're mom? Yes, I'm mom. And you're over the age of such and such. We'll say 35.
There you go.
Yes, yes, I am. And are you feeling the way I'm feeling? Yes, I am. I'm like, wait a minute, I know 4 or 5 people. There's a community of us.
Right.
We exist.
We do.
And so, hopefully what this will do is help you to kind of decompress and process the bad and the good.
Yeah, you got to
so it doesn't turn into shit.
you got to process the good too.
Yes, you do.
And we have to, especially, and like I've been avoiding thinking it, but I think this is a safe and appropriate time to say it and go ahead and acknowledge it. You know, when it feels like the meme with the little dog sitting at the table and everything is burning around him and he has on a little hat and he's like smiling and the little word bubble says, "This is fine." Yes, this is fine. You know, when it feels like that, because he who shall not be named is, trying to start World War III, or, our babies are getting shot at because they stopped and asked for directions because they missed their bus to school, and, whatever else is happening, and you are trying desperately to hold on to
sanity,
humanity, and any and every little piece of joy.
Yeah, right.
That it is imperative that sometimes you check out and go celebrate what's good,
right?
And that you cultivate gratitude,
right?
And I am so grateful for this process. That I got to work at Karamu again, that I got to...
It feels good being back here.
It does.
I talked to Tony Size. Y'all know who's Tony Size.
He's the CEO and president
of Karamu.
Karamu 2.0, the next 100 years.
And I hope this is attractive to you if you are far and away, because this is the Mecca for Black and multicultural theater. Does that mean you have to be Black?
No. The
brown?
Audience today was very mixed, wasn't it?
Very diverse.
This is the most white people I've seen at Karamu in a long time.
Hi, white people. We love you too.
No, but
it was good to see.
I mean, it was good to see, and it wasn't just white folks. I'm just being silly. But it was a very diverse house today, which I was happy to see.
Well, I really like I like the talk back. Yeah, because I think the play that you just directed was so layered with so many things that it would have been fine if you showed it and we walked away, but then we wouldn't have had that important discussion. Yeah, and so
to help digest the good.
That's right, to help digest the good. good. If I had walked away, I'd have been like, oh, I don't know what I need. I need a drink. I don't know what I need. I'm not sure what I need to do right now. I just need to do something. I need to sit on the toilet. I'm not sure what I need to do. I don't know what I need to do. I need to do something, But because we were able to have the talk back, there were so many points that people's thoughts that I got a chance to experience, and so many points that were made, and all of these wonderful things. But it was really good to be back because it did feel like coming to a home theater. Yeah. It didn't feel like I had to get in my best dress clothes and spend a crap load of money to go.
Even though she is in her best dress.
Go on. But I dropped my fur to the floor. I'm just kidding. I don't got no fur coat.
But I know what you mean. You feel like you had to put on pretenses to be
right,
here.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just as wonderful to be here that it was to go and spend a lot of money to park. The valet park, and go and do that. There's nights for that, but if I'm going to be a part of the theater again, if I want to be a part of it again, I want it to be accessible to me, and safe and accessible for me to,
Well, I mean, and I think that's the importance of art, period. That it has to be accessible. People have to feel like they belong there, right, and that it is for them, right. And our cultural institutions that are ethnically specific are important for that. And it's a huge nationwide discussion right now, and probably internationally. I'm just not as in touch with that part of it, but certainly nationally right now, it's a huge discussion about, what we call EDI, equity, diversity, and inclusion, versus anti-racism, because they are two different schools of thought. Okay. Yeah. And, what happens with EDI is that you have, here we go, alphabet soup, the PWIs, the predominantly white institutions start trying to find ways to, quote unquote, diversify. And then the thing is, but once they get all of our artists, what do the ethnically specific institutions then do?
Well, this is what we're having. This is exactly the conversation we're having in the dance world. This is exactly it. This is why I decided, I have children that are in my dance program. My daughter is one of them. There are places for her to go here in Ohio and in Cleveland. I specifically would like for her to go to Dance Theater of Harlem. Yeah. That is specifically where I want her to go. For what reason? The main reason is so that she can have the opportunity to dance with girls who look like her. Yeah. Does she have to stay there? No, she doesn't have to stay there. But if I'm going to help shape her future and shape her conscience and give her something solid to stand on, I want her to have that experience. Yeah. She could go, she could go to any other institution I missed it. She could go to any other institution in Ohio, and she will at some point. But at her age, the time is right. The pathway is open. It's really open if you go to Sage's Summer Intensive at GoFundMe,
which we will put in the show notes.
Please, because now I'm getting nervous. But come hell or high water, she's going. We have to sleep outside the school and wash in somebody's hotel. We're gonna go to that school to get her there because it's that important for me. Yeah. But I have to say, I know that it's a black company. Okay, can I be real for a second?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I know it's a black company, and they don't have the funding like the other companies do. So they can't offer the same type of scholarships. They can't offer the same type of perks that a lot of the other ballet companies can offer. So I have other dancers who, they can't, there's no opportunity for them at dance theater. So they have to go to those schools in Ohio. Yeah. And those schools are offering them, these other type of perks. Right. So I do feel torn.
Right. But here's the thing. Right? Those circumstances, again, like we said last week, we can't have any of these conversations outside of historical context.
That's right.
The reason why the Black institutions often don't have the same kind of funding, don't have the same infrastructure in place, and have professionals who are not necessarily in the beginning as highly trained, is because of the structural racism and institutional racism in the country that blocked access to resources, i.e. funding, which would allow those people to be trained. And in the times when we did have that training, and we did create the infrastructure, we created our own banks, our own funding, they literally got bombed and burned to the ground. You know, and so you know, now we're looking at and it's wonderful to see all these babies getting accepted into Princeton and Harvard and Yale and all the places.
Do your thing. Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, our HBCUs are dying. Right. You know, and see, I went to an HBCU and then I went to a PWI. So I've had both experiences. And both are valid and both have shaped me. But what I will tell you is the absolute truth. The reason people hire me is because of the education I got at the HBCU.
That's right. That's
because they want to know the Black canon.
That's right.
They want to know the Black theater stuff that they don't know because they don't teach that at the PWI.
But they don't know. So, they don't know. And when you get out in the world, you're going to deal with other, you're going to deal with a diverse group. And you're sitting there wondering, why? We're for diversity. Why don't we have it? Well,
but
let's call the Oracle. Let's call Nina.
If you don't stop calling me the Oracle, that's so funny. All right.
But yeah, but that has been sitting on part of my brain for a very long time. And you know what I love about the dance world now is that we're actively having this discussion. And because, like I said before, dancers don't really speak.
So we're going to for now
Yes.
The
but
closing
let's talk about the good. Let's talk about the good.
Well, yeah, and that's the closing thought.
Yes.
Because we are in the Hannah Lounge and we are not in our usual home studio
they're over here talking about
Nina's kitchen.
You don't have to go home,
but you got to get out of here.
One more day.
Right. So
oh no, that wasn't him. That was
You are so crazy. So anyway, all of that to say, we love y'all. Yes. Closing thought.
Yes.
You gotta digest that
good. You do not want to be constipated. Right. There you go. Get you some Myalex and some lemon water.
And we will holler at y'all next week.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah. You didn't think